There is something you need to understand, something that few people truly have the ability to perceive. What you know as your life, with all its limitations and challenges, is just the beginning of a much larger journey. The human experience, with all its joys and sufferings, is not a final destination, but a stage of learning and transformation. Think about it. Perhaps who you are today is not the totality of who you really are. For the human soul carries within it an immeasurable potential, something that goes beyond the physical limitations and the consciousness that now resides in your being. There is a hidden path, a path few know, but one that all, in some way, are walking, even if they do not realize it. This path, like an evolution, consists of stages we go through to reach true growth. The knowledge we will explore today, which has been guarded for millennia, points to a cosmic destiny that transcends the boundaries of the human experience. It reveals to us that our soul, when freed from the constraints of the physical form, is capable of reaching higher cosmic states, connecting to an infinite web of existence. But it is also a wisdom that shows us that we are not alone on this path. We are part of something much larger, something beyond our immediate understanding. What you are about to discover is not a simple philosophy or a passing belief. It is a deep secret, hidden by time, that spans civilizations, cultures, and ancient wisdoms. A journey of evolution that, for you perhaps, begins here, but extends to the ends of the cosmos. So today, we will explore profound knowledge that reveals the secrets about the nature of the soul. You will discover the hidden potential that resides in you and in each of us, and understand how your human journey is only the beginning of a much larger cosmic evolution. Perhaps what you will discover here today goes beyond the reach of common perception. Thousands of years ago, the ancients held wisdom about the evolution of the soul in texts that defy time and human comprehension. Among these texts stands the Emerald Tablet, a writing that, though dated over 36,000 years ago, remains a deep guide on the cosmic stages of spiritual evolution. The wisdom contained in it is not just a simple explanation of human life, but reveals the nature of the soul, its journey beyond physical form, and how it transcends the limitations of time and space. This is a knowledge that encompasses not only our current existence, but the entire path we travel as constantly expanding consciousnesses. The Emerald Tablet, attributed to the Egyptian sage known as Hermes Trismegistus in other cultures, describes the stages of cosmic evolution as an endless spiral. Humanity, in its current form, would merely be the starting point of a continuous process of growth and transformation. When we look at these teachings, we realize that human consciousness is immersed in a learning cycle that goes far beyond the physical experience. It's as if, with every step, the soul seeks to expand, not just within the limits of the body, but through deeper layers of existence. Throughout this journey, the soul is guided by beings of evolved consciousness, known as the Lords of Amenti. They are described in the Emerald Tablet as cosmic guardians whose actions and wisdom help direct souls in their ascension through the dimensions of being. They would not be gods in the conventional sense, but beings who, through their own journeys, reached levels of understanding that can guide souls beyond the limitations of the flesh and toward true spiritual freedom. These beings, unlike us, are not bound by the cycles of birth and death as we understand them, but operate within a system of universal laws that govern the evolution of all creation. They represent what lies beyond form, a deep understanding of how cosmic energies intertwine and flow through all forms of existence. But analyzing the entire knowledge of the Emerald Tablet, we can say that it also makes us recognize that everything is interconnected. Every consciousness, whether human or cosmic, follows a path that, though unique, is aligned with the same universal laws that govern the universe in its entirety. And when we explore these teachings, we begin to understand that the evolution of the soul is not just an isolated experience, but a collective journey unfolding across various layers of reality. For beyond the human form, there are many levels of consciousness, all interconnected and following a cosmic order that transcends immediate understanding. From this wisdom, human consciousness, with all its complexity, would only be the first step in a journey that extends far beyond our current perception. What we live, feel, and experience as human beings is not the end of our story, but an initial phase of a cosmic evolutionary chain that connects us to forms of existence we can barely comprehend. The nature of human consciousness is limited by the physical body and time, but this form of existence does not define our true essence. What we are in our totality goes beyond the temporary experience of matter, extending along an infinite cosmic evolutionary line. The concept of cosmic evolution proposes that the soul's journey is not limited to one stage. Instead, it goes through different levels of consciousness, each more expansive and closer to universal understanding. Just as a child grows and develops to become an adult, the human soul is also in a constant process of transformation. But this transformation is not limited to our current human existence. Each stage of human consciousness is a step in the path of expansion toward much higher states of being, where the limitations of physical form and time no longer apply. As consciousness evolves, it begins to expand beyond physical form, transcending the limits of the body and space. This expansion goes beyond the human capacity to comprehend, but over time, we will begin to access these higher states of existence, where the soul connects with non-physical realities. These higher levels of consciousness are dimensions of existence, where the being becomes capable of understanding the totality of reality and interacting with it in a much deeper way. It's difficult to conceive the totality of what the expansion of consciousness really means, precisely because it goes beyond everything we know as real. We are conditioned to perceive the world through the limits of our physical senses and the mental constructs our mind creates to understand reality. When we talk about the expansion of consciousness, we are referring to a process that goes beyond these limitations, involving the perception of dimensions and realities that cannot be touched or seen in a conventional way. The human mind, as impressive as it is not equipped to fully comprehend what lies beyond space and time, beyond what is physical and immediate. True expansion of consciousness means seeing and experiencing the world on a universal scale, where the laws governing existence become clear, but at the same time, inaccessible to full comprehension as long as we remain confined to a human form. But what we can identify is that, looking beyond human limitations, we begin to perceive that the soul is not confined to one form or experience, but is part of an interconnected cosmic network where all forms of consciousness influence each other, flowing together in a continuous process of evolution. As described in the Emerald Tablet, the soul's path is like a journey in a spiral, where each cycle is an opportunity for growth, learning, and transcendence, paving the way for higher forms of being. It's like a journey of cosmic expansion, where human consciousness gives way to a deeper understanding of our true nature. And this path, though filled with challenges, is also a promise of freedom. Freedom from the limitations of physical form, freedom from separation, and ultimately the experience of cosmic unity. This is precisely the journey that leads us to explore one of the greatest mysteries of our existence, death. But throughout the ages, the ancient masters have taught that death should not be viewed as the end, but as a natural and necessary transition in the path of spiritual evolution. For them, death does not represent the end of the soul, but a door to new levels of existence, where consciousness expands beyond physical limitations. The soul, in its incessant search for wisdom and enlightenment, goes through this transition to reach higher cosmic states, further removed from the restrictions of the body and time. The transcendence of death in these teachings is seen as an important milestone in the process of detachment from physical form. This means that to evolve spiritually, the soul or being must learn to disconnect from the illusion that the body is its true identity. Consciousness, upon understanding the impermanence of the body, begins to free itself from the limitations imposed by flesh, realizing that the true essence of the soul is immortal. The ancient masters, throughout their spiritual journeys, taught that death is like a change, not an end, an opportunity for cosmic expansion and closer union with the universe. At this point, the being begins to walk a path beyond the human form, entering more subtle and elevated dimensions of existence. And as attachment to the physical dissolves, the soul becomes more capable of accessing wisdom beyond human comprehension. By detaching from matter, the soul connects with the infinite cycles of the universe, continuing its journey of evolution and learning, always seeking new levels of understanding and transformation. Death, from this perspective, is seen as a leap into a new state of being, for the soul's path is not limited by the end of physical life, but by the continuous quest for expansion and wisdom. It's as if this transition is a natural process of growth and transformation, where the being finds its true potential, a spiritual immortality that extends infinitely beyond the human experience. Each stage of spiritual evolution is like a step on an infinite ladder, where the soul leaves behind old veils of ignorance and draws closer to the totality universal. It is a journey in a spiral, always expanding, always deepening. As we talked about at the beginning, the evolution of the being begins at the human stage, an essential but limited starting point. As humans, our consciousness is restricted to sensory experience and intellectual understanding, often marked by dualities and physical limitations. Even so, within each human being lies the potential for unlimited expansion, and each stage of this journey involves an adaptation of the soul, learning to detach from restricted identities and merge with the vastness of the cosmos. As the being goes through these stages, it approaches higher states of consciousness, where the separations between the self and the universe begin to dissolve. In each cycle, the soul becomes more capable of understanding the laws that govern all existence, from the fundamental principles of creation to the deepest truths about being and reality. It's not a process of simple learning, but of transformation. It adapts, grows, and as self-knowledge expands, it gains a broader, more integrated vision of the universe. But it is important to understand that the soul's cosmic evolution never ends. There is no final point, but a continuity of endless growth and expansion. Each new stage of cosmic evolution brings new challenges and new horizons of understanding, but also new opportunities to integrate and apply that knowledge as the soul aligns with the deepest laws of the universe. The journey is not about reaching a final perfection, but about a constant transformation, an eternal movement toward the whole, where the being merges with the totality universal, experiencing unity with all forms of existence. What seems to be an end is, in fact, a new beginning, a new level of perception and understanding, where the being finally realizes that everything is interconnected, that the whole is one, and that it is at once both part and essence of this infinite process of evolution. The universe is not a collection of random or disconnected events. It is governed by universal laws, principles that govern all creation and maintain the cosmic order and balance. And as consciousness expands, the being begins to understand that it is not separate from the universe but an intrinsic part of a cosmic web of existence. True spiritual growth does not occur just through the acquisition of new knowledge, but through understanding and integrating these laws that govern reality. These universal laws are fundamental principles that guide all creation, from the smallest particles in the universe to the vast dimensions of existence. As it evolves, the being begins to align with these laws, not as something external but as a reflection of its own universal essence. Harmony with these laws is not something imposed, but a natural integration that occurs when the soul recognizes its true nature and its role within the grand cosmic plan. When the soul learns to operate within these principles, it approaches even deeper wisdom. Each being, regardless of its form or level of evolution, has a specific role within this cosmic web. The soul, upon understanding this, begins to see its existence not as something separate or insignificant, but as a key piece in the great cosmic movement. Each action, each thought, each choice made by the soul always has an impact on the grand universal plan, shaping reality in ways we may not fully understand immediately. When the being learns to align with these universal laws, it not only finds a path of continuous growth, but also a deep peace, knowing that it is in harmony with the natural flow of the universe. Union with the all, or oneness, is the culmination of a spiritual journey that extends beyond the limitations of the body and time, but it is not the end of the soul's evolution. When it reaches this union, the soul does not dissolve into a passive state, but becomes one with the infinite, beginning to act within the universal flow, guiding and influencing other souls on their own evolutionary path. The wisdom gained through the cosmic journey becomes so deep that the soul now has the ability to act as a conscious force within the grand cosmic plan. The soul, upon reaching this universal wisdom, begins to perceive that it is not separate from anything but integrated with all forms of existence. What we live now, as human beings, is just a fraction of what the soul is destined to become. Perhaps the true journey of the soul goes beyond human comprehension as it continues to expand, learn, and evolve, always toward totality but never reaching an absolute end. And more, perhaps the goal is for the soul to become a full expression of universal consciousness, where all limitations of form disappear, and the soul becomes part of the whole, a force that permeates the cosmos, expanding in infinite wisdom and power. And I believe this is our journey, a journey without end, but always in motion, always growing, always in unity with the infinite. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.